Howdy. This looks great. When we bought this house, this is literally like the first thing that I set up with this like top light. Today I added a key light, but I like set this up and I was like, I'm gonna film here. I want it to be easy. I want it to be like quick so that I can just set up the camera and like be ready. And we bought this house over a year ago and I literally just started using this. So this has been sitting here for a year. Not really. See, look, you can see it there. That's coming from that. It's not coming from that. That's coming from that. This, all that. Anyways, howdy. That actually is a great segue for what I wanted to talk about today, which is make things. Kind of building on what I talked about yesterday, I guess a little bit of like, no one's gonna like pay you to make the things that you want to make. It's like kind of in that same vein, but make things with your friends. That's the topic. That's what we're talking about today. I think I've been thinking about this nonstop for the last year and change, really the last like 2 years, is like make the things that you want to make the things you want to see in the world, make the art that you like, that you want to consume. Denis Villeneuve has famously said like he is making the Dune movies for an audience of one, and it's himself. And it shows, in my opinion. I think those movies are immaculate. I think they have gotten better with each one. We'll see how the third one goes. I think there's something specifically to that concept of like making something for yourself. There's also something about making things without waiting for permission. And on top of all of this, I think there's also something to be said about like going out and making something with your friends. That's why so many of us got into like filmmaking or photography or music. Like there's an inherent communal aspect to so much of art. Some art forms don't have that, like painting doesn't have to do that. Writing is actually inherently pretty introspective and introverted. So that side of filmmaking is kind of interesting because you have to have both, right? YouTubing is kind of weird because it is predominantly a solo endeavor. But filmmaking, by and large, is a communal thing. And I think a lot of creative things are a communal thing. And so I think for so many people, when you're stuck creatively or artistically, you need to find a group that challenges you and holds you to making things. This has been something really big for me in the last couple years, is that when I first started the vlog, I'm getting a phone call right now, so I'm gonna mute that and I'll get back to them in a bit. When I was first starting the vlog and starting to YouTube and starting to create things on the internet, I was doing it solo. And I did it in order to make a movie. That was like my working concept, was like, I'm gonna make a daily vlog until I make a movie. And that movie was with or without people. Like, I was designing it so that if push came to shove, I was gonna be able to shoot it and make it myself. And the vlog was very much that same kind of spirit of like, I am going to trudge forward making something daily by myself. And that isn't bad, but I think there is something so important in filmmaking about having partners. And you see this with so many of the big directors. They have a producing partner, they have a co-director, they have actors, they have writing partners, they have people that they work with routinely. Nolan always works with his wife, Emma Thomas or Thompson. I think it's Thomas, but I could be wrong. Fact check me. He always works with them. Wow, my brain just stopped. But so many illustrations of that, right? Like Tom Hanks often works with his wife, who's also a producer. Yorgos Lanthimos works with a lot of the same actors. Lately, he's been working with Jesse Plemons a lot. He's been working with Emma Stone a lot. And I think that's because you find a crew that you work well together with. But it goes back to something that we learn when we're young, which is like make things with your friends. Have fun with your friends. Because art is cool and introspective, but it's also about that community and about working with people and coming together collectively to make something bigger than ourselves. And someone is usually driving that, but it's still bigger than that one person. And that's necessary. You need to have someone that's going to make decisions. Otherwise, it's not going to go perfectly. It's not going to go well at all sometimes. But having a group, having a collective that's there to push something forward, to bring new ideas, bring something to it, and then also to hold each other accountable to making something bigger than ourselves is crucial. And so I think if you're stuck creatively, finding that crowd, those people that you want to work with, that you want to create with, that are going to push you farther is kind of a necessity. And it can be a lot of different things. Like it doesn't have to be any one thing. It doesn't even have to be necessarily in the world that you're in. I have one filmmaker friend that joined an improv group, and it was just about the act of getting together with a group of people to create and play and be childlike together. And I think that's really, really important and powerful. I have been lucky enough to, over the last 2 years, really discover kind of like my core group of people that I want to work with, at least for the next couple years. And that is in my co-director, one of my really great DP friends, a costume designer. Like, these are people that I want to work with on every project I can, if possible. And a lot of this is specific to like my stuff, like my creative projects, not to work projects. There are people I love working with for work, but like not necessarily who I want on my projects. And that's okay. Maybe I do want them on it and I just can't afford them yet, and that's okay as well. Someday, hopefully, I'll get more money to make my projects and not just self-funding them, and then I'll be able to do that. But for now, finding this small core group of people has meant I know what I can ask of them. I know it's not going to be too much, and I know they're going to say, okay, well, when are we shooting it? Because if we don't set a date, we're not going to do it. I know that they are going to come to me and say like, hey, that is really cool idea and it's not plausible. So can we change it and make it plausible for us? Something that we can actually achieve. And those types of people are the people that you want to have around. It's been awesome to watch us like make an entire short film that's 12 minutes long almost. That's a sci-fi that is like gritty and cool and dark and like unique and rad. It's the stuff that I want to see. And to see that come to life because of these people that we all got together and said like, okay, we're going to do this on a weekend, has been awesome. And so now we're moving forward. We're going to make the feature. We're talking about the feature, what it's going to take, what we need to do, how can we do this better, how can we do this efficient, how can we do this like this or like this, and what if we did that, and changing things for the better, talking about why it's better. My light just popped. I think it was a layer of diffusion, so I'll check this later. It might have just gotten a little harsher. That was interesting. But I think if you're stuck creatively, go find a group of friends. If you don't have a group of friends, start going to networking events, film meetups, I don't know, trivia nights, hang out with people, go to a bar. But find people that share some sort of goal. Because past even the feature, I had an hour-long conversation with my co-director today about what we want to be, what we want to do outside of the feature. What do we do when the feature's done? What are we striving towards in the big picture? Not just on this movie, and not just how do we make a cool movie, but also how do we keep providing value to our audience? How do we keep growing an audience? How do we make this our career? Is really what it is about for us. Is like, we love making movies. We love telling stories. We love being on set and writing and creating and being with our friends. And how do we do that every day for the rest of our lives? And that's a relationship that came out of meeting at a networking event for film people in Nashville. And it started because we had a stupid idea and we were like, this would be funny. And I knew he thought it would be funny, or I knew he would think it was funny. And we started writing together. We started having a good time together. Started talking about what if we made a short film together. Made a couple of terrible short films together. Like, I think 2 or 3 that were just terrible. And so there's something so special about that, of just like having fun with your friends, being okay to make something bad, but like making it the goal to make something. That's cool. That's special. And it shouldn't be like undervalued. And I think that's it. So, my mission, my goal, my challenge to you is go make things. It can be a YouTube video like this, just setting up a light, shooting, filming, talking. This is an exercise for me to keep pushing forward, keep making things, keep talking to people. But past that, go make the things you want to see, the things that you wish existed, and find people to shoot those with you.